Hi, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. I'm so sorry for being late today. Had to double check on the things I'm covering. It's like, no, that can't be real. That can't actually be a thing. And I'm pretty sure it is. We're going to get to that, and it's blowing my mind. Anyway, Findenberger, thank you so much. Thank you. It makes a huge difference. Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you for being here. This is where we go through the news. This is news with friends. So you don't have to go through the news by yourself, especially the political stuff. And I feel like I'm lightheaded right now. I'm just so, my gas are flabbered. Okay, anyway, we have Epic Troll Slayers. Thank you. We have got a fantastic community because you've been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello, big hug. All the questions are in the description box. I timestamp them as I go so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed. So, oh dear, great Gussie. Okay. Bridget says, I have no flabbers left to cap. I understand. Oh boy. Oh, did Sarah just send me the details? Okay, it's not working in Chrome. Let me open this. Here is this. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So on today's episode, all right, so actually it's just international money transfers. Is that correct? Hang on. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure you get the right information. So only on international money transfers. Okay. So I'll see if I can get some clarification on that. But we also there's stuff that we know that we're all well aware. Transfers to anyone. All right. Okay, we'll just go with what we have at the moment. Okay, on today's episode, while the GOP is trying to sell the big, beautiful, blankety-blank budget bill to the public by showing all the tax cuts it provides, they're neglecting to point out the major tax increases to those who are making less than $15,000 a year. What you do unto the least of us, you do unto me. But tell me again how Christian you are. Walmart announced that because of the tariffs, prices will be raised across the board on all of its products and fast. And from Bruce Springsteen in Manchester in the UK to Robert De Niro in Cannes, in France, more and more celebrities are publicly speaking out against Trump while on foreign soil. Look at that. Okay. So we're going to start with the Are You Kidding Me? At 4 minutes, 25 seconds in, while the GOP is trying to sell the big, beautiful, blankety-blank budget bill to the public, they are not pointing out the major tax increases to those making less than $15,000 a year. So the least of us, those who need the most help. Starting in next year, in 2026, there will be a 0.8% increase. Oh, no, wait, hear me out, okay? You think, oh, that's not so bad. Hang on. 2026, 0.8% increase. In 2027, an 18.7% increase. In 2029, the increase to those making under $15,000 is 53.5%, with an added increase of those making $15,000 to $30,000. They will see their taxes go up 11.7%. In 2031, the increase to the poorest of our people, those making less than $15,000 a year, will be an astronomical 73.5%. That is unconscionable. The fact that they even, exactly, Lois, that is horrific. $15,000. I need to concentrate because right now I'm just furious. Oh, okay. This is feeling like an overloaded Celtic. Sarah says it's a tax increase percentage on the existing rate. Miss Sarah, do we know what that total becomes? Like if it's a 73.4%, 73.4% increase, is that cumulative? I mean, it's one of those things you're going to have to go into, you're either going to have to know Excel very well or go ask ChatGPT to work out the math on what your tax rates turn into, because that's insane. But yes, hurt the poorest. The absolute poorest, but do cut taxes on literal billionaires. I cannot. Lisa says, Sarah Autumn, can you name the source of the info we need to share on our FB pages? The link is in the description. There are 2 links in the description. Yeah, it's the first question. Let me make sure I hit save here. Yeah. Okay. So those who voted for these people, we told you this would happen. They didn't listen. We told you. Judgment. How can anyone vote for Republicans? Anyone. Because you're voting for MAGA, and this is what MAGA does. Hanging above this, the Republicans, yeah, we're cutting taxes. Oh, look at our big parade. Deb is saying Republicans don't want to be reelected, obviously. Then he says, so the leopards eating everybody's faces. Yeah. Hurting. Okay. Home environment. If this is not the most perfect card for the home environment, and with this, out in the cold, poverty, abject homelessness, poverty, and disease. That's what this card is. 5 of Pentacles. That's the home environment. Miss Sarah, could you tell us what that the highest rate of the taxes would be then? Please watch the video link. The rate is currently 4%. Next year in 2026, it will be 4.8%, an increase of 0.8. The rest will go accordingly. Okay. Yeah, this would cause immense pain. Hopes and fears. Getting Democrats in charge. Thank you very much. What other people see. They're trying to do a lot of this stuff very quietly. It's in this massive bill, this massive budget bill that, no one's going to actually read the whole thing. Oh, watch people. They will. There are people who will read the whole thing. The challenge. Democrats voting. Or people who are against the far right, but don't think the left is far enough left, so they won't vote at all. Near future, fruits of labor. The rich get richer. And the 7 of Cups, illusion, delusion. They're going to tout when this heinous bill comes out. They are going to just shout from the rooftops how this is the best budget ever. This is the best moment. This is the greatest. And anybody who believes that is a sucker. Final outcome. Oh, but do give those tax cuts to people who own yachts and keep going up into space on their rockets for funsies. Justice. King of Pentacles. That Justice card just feels like it becomes a law of the land, but let's see. Hello, this kid. Oh, boy. Burnett says, does this have to pass the Senate? Oh, my understanding is, this is they're doing reconciliation. So the House had their budget bill, the Senate has their budget bill, and they've been trying to reconcile between the two. Absolute corruption and cruelty. Sabine, what a wonderful world. Okay. Well, see, this is why we go through the news together, because going through this by yourself would, I think, makes most of us crazy. So, Rossi says the bill is also hiding that states cannot regulate AI or their companies. Oh, boy. Okay, well, unfortunately, we're not going on to particularly good news, but we need to, forewarned is forearmed. Walmart is announced that because of the tariffs, prices will be raised across the board on all of its products, quote, and fast, unquote. And fast, as in, yeah. This is in spite of the 90-day pause, because there is already a shortage of goods. This is the first major retailer to call Trump's tariffs out by name officially on why they are raising prices. Amazon started to, then walked it back. What will the response be? But how many billions does the is the Walton family? Oh, there's an Alfie, the redhead, the good boy. How many billions do they have? Yeah. And it says, yeah, because Walmart trillionaires need those new yachts. Yeah. Sarah says Walmart reported Q1 profits. Oh, I'm sure it was a lot. Queen of Wands. I mean, we know that in rural America, sometimes there's some places there's nowhere to shop except Walmart. They drove out the mom and pop stores a long time ago. Oh, Rob, it's just great. Yes. And behind that is isolation. Because that's the other thing in really rural communities, especially people who are more homebound or partially homebound. Going to Walmart when you live out in the middle of nowhere is not only, it's a way to get out of the house, it's a way to pick up a few things. It's also a way that maybe you get to talk to somebody, a neighbor, somebody you used to know. There are rural places in this United States where that's all there is. Yeah. Yogi Bear says, I'm shopping at secondhand stores, forget Walmart. I understand that he's going to town on that. Oh, Alfie's going to town on that bowl. Tony, that's the water bowl, actually. Right in the center of the buffet. The thing is, though, I remember back in the day when I had $100 to feed my husband and myself per month with food. It was $100. That was it for the whole month. And we definitely went to Walmart. And we bought the cheapest things we could. And, I was getting all my clothes at everything but my Gucci's. My under things, I got those new, but all of my clothes otherwise were secondhand. So it's not either or even. So Kay says, yes, stock up everyone if and when you can. Yeah. This is a card of hidden wisdom. So it's usually higher wisdom or it's secrets. Where's the wisdom here? If Amazon and Walmart and some of these places stood up against Trump, stood up against Republicans, the Republicans would fold. These people have immense power. But you're going to sit there with your literal billions of dollars. Really. Hurting. Democrats, we're trying to pull together. We're trying to help each other. We're trying to mitigate the damage. That's a Tower card. Ace of Cups. And sure, if you want to guarantee that people will vote for Democrats next time, the problem is that we're having to clean up. We're having to mitigate this disaster. We're trying to help each other. Lisa K says, I love charity shops in the UK. I found a new Land's End puffer jacket for £9, $12 US. I need to check the thrift shops here. Oh, there you go. I have, I'm vegan, but I'm okay with buying animal product stuff secondhand. If it's going in the trash, then I'm in. And so decades ago, a couple of decades ago, literally, I got a light leather jacket, not a biker jacket, just a fashion, just a couple buttons here, nice little pels. Got a leather jacket for that I use like spring and fall for $25, and I've had it for decades. So. Whew. Visualize 70. Oh, okay. Ginger cats. The reason why ginger cats are ginger, scientists have found ginger cats are missing a section of their genetic code responsible for skin, eye, and fur tone producing the hue. Oh. Oh, he walked away. And Boo-Boo's asleep under his blanket here, so that's really interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, and we needed that. Okay. Okay, now here's okay, I want to jump down to number 6 because this came out late last night at 22:20. The Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday that UnitedHealthcare, remember them? UnitedHealthcare was under investigation by the DOJ over billions of dollars of possible Medicare fraud. Today, the UnitedHealthcare is fighting back, saying it's never been under investigation, and reporting this is deeply irresponsible because it caused their stocks to drop by 18%. There's so many things I could say right now, and I'm sifting through them in my head. It's like, no, don't say that. No, don't say that. No, definitely don't say that. Don't say that. I've just rejected everything that came to mind about Luigi. I have just rejected everything that has come to mind about the prophets. Basically, they are accused of saying that they treated people, they took care of people, and then they're accused of then submitting that to like Medicare or what have you to get reimbursed for things they made up, which, if true, really boosted their profits. Meanwhile, continuing to deny so many people important. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, now, one moment. Here, scroll. Boom. Okay. UnitedHealthcare is accused, or Wall Street Journal is saying that UnitedHealthcare is being accused of submitting false care reports or paperwork to the government to get reimbursed for things that they said they did that they didn't. And it is, you don't have to go very far online to go find people who say they've had UnitedHealthcare as their health insurance that denied them incredibly important care. They are out there. That's not something I'm making up. I'm saying it exists on the internet. Card for the reading, suspension. Leaving people high and dry. Is it true or not? Entertainment only. That is a card of litigation. Queen of Swords. An Emperor. Someone with a lot of power. There is a Thief card right in the middle. Allegedly. Entertainment only. Five of Pentacles. People out in the cold. Sick and desperate. And it ends in the Two of Pentacles. Very, very shaky ground financially. Very shaky ground financially. So, entertainment only. Entertainment only. Will UnitedHealthcare end up going to court, winning or losing in court? About over the topic of these allegations, allegedly. Entertainment only. We know they have got like all of the lawyers who used to work for Big Tobacco or you name it. You know who they're working for now. Whatever it is, it does feel like actually the man of Italian descent who is currently inside of a prison being held before trial, that's going to come up first. Chaos. Just absolute chaos. Quiet as a tomb. Corruption. The devil. In the center, Page of Wands. Page of Swords. Not great. Not a lot of power, not a lot of great ideas here. Ends in the Nine of Pentacles, the Sitting Pretty card. Boy, it's just a day to just be really angry, isn't it? I'm not going to stay angry, though, because I refuse to let these people ruin my entire day and my health by thinking too much about how unconscionable they allegedly are. Lois says this budget will not pass because many Republicans have to run again, and constituents will suffer and not forget. Yeah, I'm not liking this. Are they, if this is true, if the card for the reading, will they end up on the defensive? They have a whole lot of money to throw around. And there's a strength card, and there's their plan. All right, let's move on because, yeah. All right. All the pretty birds. Okay. Has anybody heard what happened with the Supreme Court arguments regarding birthright? I listened to some of it, but I didn't get to hear the whole thing. And just before I came on, my understanding is that they were still arguing about it. Is that still going on? At 31 minutes in, Nettie had a question. Okay. Today, the Supreme Court takes up the question regarding birthright citizenship. What do the cards say their decision will be? Will they shut felon 4547 down on this issue? Well, what I heard did not sound super good for Trump's side. Raymond says, I just took a painkiller. It's not working because it doesn't know where to start first. You poor thing. Warrior Witch is saying that Amy Barrett, Sotomayor, Jackson, and Kagan were letting the dumpy lawyers absolutely have it this morning. Yes, I saw it. That I heard. And it was glorious. Anna says, listen to Dumpy's lawyer trying hard to justify the executive order. It wasn't working well. Yeah. Rob says, why is it even a question? Should be the question. Yeah. So, birthright citizenship. One of the arguments that was being made was, okay, here's the thing. You have parents who are from a different country who are here. They have a baby. Their baby is born. And you're not giving them citizenship. And what happens when they're from a country that doesn't give them citizenship either unless they are born in the country? So you're creating all of these people who have no state, who have no nation, who have nothing. Thank you, Jennifer. That's very sweet. Thank you. Oh, I got an extra card. Okay, what it's saying here is it should be okay. Amy says, I heard Kagan is destroying Dumpy's lawyers. There we go. Now, this is the kind of campaign garbage that Trump flapped his gums about. First three cards, I got 6 cards. First 3 cards, adding insult to injury. Absolutely just blowing people's safety apart, just like, and then here's absolute, it's racism and corruption and grossness, devil. But for the future, family, strength, and the far right on the defensive. So fingers crossed, but the energy right now is good for at least birthright citizenship going forward, because I believe it's in the Constitution. There was something in there as well they were talking about. I thought that the argument against single judges making nationwide injunctions, they were talking about that as well. I thought that was a separate case, but that did come up. At one point I got a little confused. I'm like, which topic are they talking about? But apparently it was part of the arguments. So thank you, Jennifer. Okay. There's so much. 36 minutes in. Katie and Proud. Okay. This is on our side. This is on the Democrat side. Okay. I'm going to ask that we go through this question, but please do not attack. Try not to attack Democrats. We need to remember the problem, but I can't stop you. House Democrat Representative, is it Thanedar or Thanedar? I'm afraid I don't know how to pronounce it. Has backed off forcing an impeachment vote after objections from party leaders calling it a distraction. Is that the real reason Democratic leadership does not want to force a vote? My understanding, I will look, but my understanding is yes, because the big, beautiful, blankety blank budget is going to go through at some point here. And the argument is that Democrats cannot give Republicans any distraction. I'm sure they'll come up with one, but we cannot give them distractions. This needs to fall entirely 100% on Republicans with the fewest distractions possible. But is that what the Democratic leadership is thinking? Or are they thinking something else? And maybe he could force force it to the floor, but I don't, and I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it's not going to pass right now. But we absolutely have got to hang the albatross that is this budget around Republican politicians next. Yeah, this is all looking at the Republicans. They should be on the defensive because of the cruelty and awfulness of this budget. Page of Wands. Just this MAGA cruelty. It's weakness. Fruits of labor. Oh, yes, do give the rich a tax break. Sitting pretty. How much money do they individually have? There's, that's my Mar-a-Lago card. Plus, it also, because this is normally, the Four of Wands is normally a retirement or a vacation kind of thing. This could also, if this budget goes through and it is as bad as they say it's going to be, there could be Republicans who decide not to run for re-election because this ends with the devil card. Yeah, so I really do think that what's going on here, it isn't. I know that, and I'm not saying this was with this particular question, but I know I do hear you, and I do sometimes hear people saying that the leadership of the Democrats is right wing, and they don't want anyone who's progressive to get ahead, and they'll hamstring the party, and they'll do all of this stuff. I really don't think so. I really don't. I really don't, for what it's worth. But you don't have to believe me, of course. Okay. Thank you, Visualize 70. It's pronounced Thanedar. Really, Thanedar is pronounced Thanedar, so it's a silent H. Huh, thank you. Okay. This kind of blew my mind. At 4120, leaked chats appear to show a New Hampshire GOP lawmaker urging violence. We're against that here. And suggesting violence against dissenting Republicans in his own caucus, suggesting everything from egging their houses to their tires. The worst punishment suggested, quote, put the letter F in front of logging. Logging in the public square. Yeah. While it may seem amusing that they're turning on themselves to this degree, are we really going to start seeing some violence? He says, not violence then. No, violence. Yes, Cindy, let's go back to 1525. There we go. And here's the thing. I can think of, just right off the top of my head, I can think of one news. There are many, but there are news things coming out that are so heinous. I can't read on them. I just can't. I can't get in that energy. Well, not necessarily. Republican, there's the weed of crime bearing bitter fruit. Democrats standing together. They're the cult members, trying to rile them up, I guess. Following a fool. It's as quiet as a tomb. Wheel of Fortune. It depends on the person. There are always going to be a handful of crazies. I don't know that it's going to get to any kind of publicly sanctioned type thing, but there are definitely handfuls of crazies out there. And all of these far-right Republicans, all they need to do is whistle. Yeah. Jolene says, I hate having this much hate in my heart. It's not good for my own health. I can understand that. There's a reason why I do the Stay Calm channel right before this one. it's to calm our nerves. It's to channel positive energy. And yeah, I mean, I come on here and I have a lot of negative things to say about these cruel people, cruel, hypocritical, unconscionable people. But what would really hurt my heart is if I didn't say something, if I didn't stand up for what's right, if I didn't speak out, whether it be in a comment or a chat or on my channel or wherever it is. I've talked about it every once in a while. It comes up. That song from the 90s. And forgive my German. I know this is going to be painful. If you're German, block your ears. Ich bin ein Ausländer. Is that the one? And one of the lines in about the trying to stand up against racism. And one of the lines is, but if the answer isn't violence, neither is your silence. So, yeah. No, Charlie, not du hast mich. You have me. Is that in it? Du hast mich. That's a completely Rammstein. A completely different thing. Cindy says, I have to step back from the news, especially El Salvador, because it's so upsetting. Yeah, I understand. But like I said, that's why we do this together. So you also know you're not alone, and you know that, but we have to also keep an eye on what's happening. We can't pretend it's not happening. So anyway, Jenna says, I watched my Scorpio mother suffer as you are now. You can't fix everything, Autumn. I know. Gently says, I recognize that song. There we go. So they will not prosper. Seriously, they won't. The more extreme they are, they end up more and more isolated. The more extreme far right action, fruits of labor, the more they do, the more damage they do. Because I've got the Grim Reaper here in the middle. They are burdened by that cruelty, and they come up a day late and a dollar short. They don't prosper with all of this cruelty. And even now it may seem like, yeah, but they have power. But they're not prospering. So, oh yeah, that is it called a tapestry? That big piece of fabric hanging in front of the USDA. Have you seen this? There are. This is a separate topic. Oh, thank you, Jean. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. So USDA, they've got two of those big fabric banners, and one has Abraham Lincoln, and the other is that buffoon. Yeah. But it's not a cult. No. Brenda, I assume your autocorrect got you there. No one's ever called me Adam before. Autocorrect is great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, Jean Hall. It looks like North Korean style. Yes. Charles says she has the Metallica tapestry over her headboard. I don't know who you're talking about. Sorry. Rose Allen says, lighting my white candles and taking a deep breath. Good. I'm maybe 10 minutes tops, and then we're going to go on with our day. But you're going to know what's happening. You're going to know you're not alone. You're going to be better informed, and then we can go. Me? No. My, and I'll be perfectly honest, my ex was a huge fan, and no thanks. So, anyway, but I am a sucker for certain kinds of pop music. Anyway, all right, now this is something Sarah was telling me about before it came on, and it seems a little complicated, but Acadian Proud brought this up. Thank you. So there is a proposed 5% tax bill, think PayPal or MoneyGram, that would force the use of gov.qualify providers to avoid the extra tax. Crypto users would, of course, be exempt. Okay, Sarah sent me some other information on this. Because she was trying to figure out, and I was trying to figure it out. And what it actually says is the 5% remittance tax is a proposed U.S. tax on international money transfers sent by non-citizens, including those holding green cards or temporary visas. The tax would be collected directly by banks and financial services at the time of transaction, with the aim of raising revenue for various purposes, such as making the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent and funding border security. The proposed tax is estimated to affect over 40 million people. Who is affected? The tax would apply to non-citizens, including green card holders, temporary visa holders, and those on H-1B and H-2A and H-2B visas. U.S. citizens are exempt. So if you're using a bank, if you're using PayPal, if you're using whatever it is, you have to tell them if you are a green card holder in this country. Really? So the banks have to know? And if you have that, then you're going to pay a 5% tax that nobody else has to pay. Wow. Because coincidentally, Sarah and I both married men from the UK. Different parts of the UK, but the UK. She is still married. I am not. Both have green cards. But any money any of them would send back to the UK, they are going to get charged 5%. So what would stop Sarah from sending that money instead? She's a U.S. citizen. This is Equal says, talk about profiling. Oh, yeah. Kathy says, I married a UK green card holder, too. I hope it went well. Essentially says, none with me, but I could give it a try. I like accents. I understand. Venus and Sagittarius, you know. But no, seriously. The other thing that's coming up is that airlines are supposedly, that's being reported, is that airlines are now selling their data on their customers to ICE. So Blame the foreigners. Sharon Rice says, I've never been asked my citizenship status when opening any account. Exactly. Rose Allen says, my niece is married to a nice young man from the UK. Yep. And this is, I believe this is part of the big, beautiful, this is part of the big, beautiful blankety blank budget, isn't it? Dave says, I married a Northern California Norwegian woman. Good. Was it the, is all is good. We do not have to go to the bank. I remember Mama. Do you remember that? Is that the right? Because I know they went to California in that movie. Anyway. Jan says it boggles my mind that we stoop so low so fast. Yeah. It's shocking. So this is a mess. We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to Emma says, I remember Mom is a great movie. Yes. I still, seriously, every time I finish not every time, most times when I finish marking my budget or my finances, as I'm putting stuff away, say, is good. We do not have to go to the bank. Uncle Chris, yes. Walks Now. Anyway, it's a great movie. Okay. Gino says, I stumbled over British ways to call someone stupid last night on YouTube. Good for a chuckle. I imagine. Up here. Oh, by the way, I love your username. Psst, yeah, you. I'm a Canadian with a green card, trapped here behind enemy lines. I don't like it. Oh. Oh. Yes, Cindy, they're trying to target people. We know what they're doing. This is a bad move. This is nastiness. This is secrets that it's nasty, nasty, nasty. King of Pentacles, the conservatives, the Three of Wands, waiting for their ship to come in, sitting pretty if you have money, and the incredible burden. Trying to pull this off is going to be incredibly complicated. This is not going to be an easy thing to do. I am hoping. Now, what I've heard because reconciliation means you can bypass the Democrats. Them using it means they can bypass the Democrats to create this budget. There are Republicans balking at some of the extremism in there. Hal Sparks, I believe, was saying that he expects it won't go through, that they won't be able to come up with a budget, and he's expecting I think he said he's expecting a continuing resolution sometime around September. We can hope. Damon Rich says this is an authoritarian move toward restricting money from being moved out of the country. Yeah. Thank you, Kay. Thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Chaos. This is unworkable. Oh yeah, this is aggressive, but temperance and a headache and chaos. Yeah. The only good news, no, there are a couple of things of good news here. One is we're together and we're decent and we care about people. The second good thing is they're incompetent and as thick as two short planks. So let's do cards for us at 1 hour in. I can't thank you enough for being here. Thank you. Cards for us. I'm going to pull 3. What do we need to know? This too shall pass. Oh, also, don't forget the big stuff, astrological stuff coming this summer. Some of it's already started, but it's going to ramp up this summer as the final 2 planets change signs. So there'll be 4 of the 4 outer planets, all in new signs, all aspecting each other. It's a huge amount of energy. I pulled 5 again. I always say I'm going to pull 3 and then I pull 5. We are fighting the good fight. We are being decent. We are being caring. They're hurting themselves. It's going to hurt us, but we're collateral. The damage on our side is collateral. The more they do this, the more cruel they are. This is the legacy they are leaving. This is going to hurt the economy. Stirring up trouble, absolute corruption. Ultimately, you cannot prosper. You can't. Scary Opry says, but are we winning the good fight? Yes. Yes. You know, the every time there's a big fight between like authoritarianism, like back at the time of the Revolutionary War, there was the people who wanted to fight to stay a part of the UK. They wanted to be under King George and be taxed and not have a say and all of that. And then there were people here who said, no, we deserve freedoms. We deserve... Now, they didn't go far enough, but they wanted freedoms, and they fought, and they won. And then along came the Civil War, and there were these people over here who said, no, we should be able to... It turns my stomach to even say it. Own slaves. And you had the people on this side who said, absolutely not. And the people saying absolutely not won. And then you had World War II. Actually, you had World War I and World War II. Especially World War II, you had this authoritarianism. And the people on the good side that said absolutely not. And the people saying absolutely not won. And here we are. Because during those big battles or big things I was just talking about, there were astrological things happening. And some of that is if not happening again, it's rhyming in the energy. So guess what? They are trying to pull this authoritarian garbage. And there are the rest of us saying absolutely not. And ultimately, it's the people saying absolutely not who are going to win. So hang in there. All right. That is going to do it for me for today. But I'm here literally every single day of the year. And I have, other than 2 emergencies, I have been for over 5 years. Okay? I'm going to be here tomorrow. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I'll be here tomorrow. And just leave your political questions in the chat before I come on. All right. It's 1:22 p.m. here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel with Sarah. We're going to be productive. I'm going to be working on astrographics images, and we're going to get through this. All right, so please hang in there. Hang in there, all right? You're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. There just are. Oh, thank you, Damon. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Be well. Take care. I will see you later, okay? Hang in there.